Good morning and welcome to America's Home Cooking. Somebody asked me, I had explained that if you wish to make just plain jasmine rice without flavoring, how to do it, but they asked me to show how I would do it. This is how I would do it. I get 2 tablespoons of butter. I'm sort of measuring it out right now. I'm going to melt it in the pot. You don't need a high heat because you just want to melt the butter. What we're going to do is we're going to take this lovely butter flavor, which is creamy. We're going to put the rice in it and coat it with the butter. Then we're going to add some rose water, 2 to 3 tablespoons, and then we're going to add water. But I said, okay, they asked me to show them how I would do it. This is how I do it. If you want to make plain. If you want to make plain jasmine rice. Now, I'm not going to add the salt till after it cooks because I want to get that rose flavor out first, which will give that lovely floral that we like so much. I had planned to use something else to do with those little birds, but we'll have plain rice, jasmine rice. Now, the thing is that I'm using white rice because most of you use white rice, but as far as I know, if you use parboiled, you can get away with it because I made the other jasmine that came out excellent, so there was no problem there. So I'm going to assume, you notice I said assumption. And sometimes assumptions are known as the mess ups. So this doesn't work out all different, I'll let you know, but it should. Anyway, this is going to just be a plain jasmine rice like what you buy in the store, and you just add water, but mine will not have the 2-AP on it. Now, I will be making balsamic, and I already know the herbs that go into it, and what I'm thinking about doing is buying some rose water at a Middle Eastern store and put rose water in with it and see how it comes out. Just going to try. Let me get the rice ready. For jasmine and balsamic rice, if you see it white, I read what was on the package. They do not even tell you that they use 2-AP in it. So, see, they're keeping some of the ingredients in the foods that we're buying that are chemicals. They don't want you to know. And they should state it. At least you should have an idea what you're feeding your children, and if they end up with a problem, you know where it comes from. All right. This is 1 cup of white rice, and I'm stirring it around with the butter because I want to get that butter flavor on them. Now I am going to add 3 tablespoons of rose water. You can get this at Amazon. This is where I got 2 bottles. They had a good deal on it, so I bought 2 bottles. And it's also in a Middle Eastern store. And another thing that a lot of people don't know is the colonial women used rose water a lot in their desserts. I made an apple pie. It was so nice not to have an apple pie that tastes just like an apple pie we know today, because the rose water gave it a beautiful. I'm thinking about trying it with orange and see what it comes out with. All right. I'm going to turn the flame up some because I want to cook this rose water into this rice, get it going really good, and then we're going to add water to this. So we're going to cook this rose water into this. And I have to say the rice does have a lovely smell. But I definitely want to try the balsamic rice, and then I definitely want to get orange water from Middle Eastern store. If they don't have it, I'll order it on Amazon. Okay, it's absorbed that water. Now I'm going to add water to this. Now you have to watch this rice when you cook it because you're not putting a ton of water in it. You're only putting in enough water for it to cook. And as it dries out, you taste your rice and adjust the water if you want it to cook a little more, but you'll have it right at the point where you want it, your rice to be done. Now I've got rose water, some butter in this. That should be a nice buttery, floral taste and smell to the rice. Now I'm going to bring this to a boil, then I'm going to turn it down to simmer and let it cook. And when I run out of fluid, I'm going to sit there and I have more water here. If it needs it, I will add a little more and a little more till I get the rice right where I want it. So right now, we're bringing it to a boil and then turn it down to simmer. Ta-da! Dun, 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 dun. Waiting. Anyway, I want to make a rice pudding that is the founding mothers of this country did. And my son was going to buy me white wine, but he hasn't, so I'm going to buy a better white wine than what I have to cook, because I want the flavor to come out a little more in that rice. No, in the rice pudding that I want to make. So that means I'm going to have to put down white rice in my shopping. And everybody knows me. Since Sandy's buying white rice, oh my God. Okay, it's boiling. I'm going to turn it down to simmer and keep an eye on it. Okay, I have run out of fluid in here. So we're going to have to add some more fluid. And let them cook. And you can taste them. They're not done. That's why we add more to it. We'll continue cooking them. And that's what you do. You keep on checking them until it tastes a little bit, just until you get it just to your point of doneness. And I'll show you when it's done. Okay. Now that we've cooked the rice, and it's still going to be cooking anyway, we're going to add our salt. Now, I would not use kelp in it because kelp would take away from the floral, so just use regular iodized salt. And you're going to sit there and toss it around. I'm putting it in the bowl right now. I remember when I was little, my mother would boil the rice in a big pot of salt water. Then she got a recipe to bake it and the ratio for baking it. Then she would bake it in the oven. But she didn't know how to cook it. I only knew how to cook rice like that. And so when my husband came along, I ate a lot of peas and rice because he's West Indian. And then with Wong, they all showed me how to make rice the proper way. I know my sons will probably have a heart attack to see that I made white rice, but I did it for you. But I would normally make it with a different one, parboil. The only time I really use white rice is with Jasmine and probably balsamic. If I make it, I'm going to have to use it with white rice or parboil. I usually use brown rice, but this does not taste well. And there you go. That's how I made it at home. You can taste the butter on it, which makes it creamy. And you can smell the floral, which is really, really nice. As you eat it, you can hear, it's funny, you're tasting it here, but you can smell it here. Anyway, so that's how I do it. You take care and have a great day.